Yesterday I talked about anger and rage, um, and because you know, I wanted to make sure I didn't sugarcoat anything about talking about the I, thou, and the divine and the we. But so I can still feel the energy from talking about the just the concept of rage, because the situations in life that we can put under the category of atrocious and kind of situations that could inspire a person to seek revenge, and now there's always a inner conflict between doing one thing or the other. And the best solution is always try to be constructive and not destructive. You always get more with sugar than you do with vinegar. But and I talked about how I realized my own anger when I did not hesitate to respond with fierceness and force, raising my voice in a stern manner. Like I'm ready to walk up to a person and just get 2 inches away from their face and stare them down. I'm not going to take the first punch or nothing, but sorry be the person who does take the first punch. Makes the first punch. Not that I would take the first punch. But, because I have no fear. I really have no fear. My anger has hardened the steel fabric in my operation. Everybody's got a mode of operation. It's called an MO. And you discover yours over time. And it has to do with how you respond to stuff. I started as an underdog. I'm not the person who's going to pick the fight. But, I'm eager to finish it. And you gotta I have to balance that with moderation, sobriety, circumspection, and I think most of all, the highest standard is the acknowledgement of an egalitarian acknowledgement of the dignity of another person. And always, the other person can be as wicked as all get out. But what you have to do is, it's the base of my understanding, about God is both male and female. God is both evil and good. God contains within God's self every opposite, the yin and the yang. It could not be anything other if not for God. God is that for which there is no other. Nothing exists if not for God. All right? God is all consciousness. God knows every feeling and every thought because they're God's. They are God's nervous system, maybe you might say, if you want to use the metaphor of our own body. We have a nervous system. Well, as in the microcosm, so in the macrocosm. As in the little things, so in the big things. As high as our understanding can go to whatever we can comprehend. And then that will be only one grain in the, not even it would be a particle in the expanse, knowledge and mind and operation, and every nervous feeling, like we have our nerves make us feel stuff, every neurological pathway, every water-based pathway, every light-based pathway, every magnetic resonance pathway, everything that we can measure, well, that's only one particle in the heart and mind and being of God. I say heart and mind because after all, that's two major things that we're made of. At our core, heart and mind. And we got a body. And we try to use that body. Well, okay, the highest form of betterment, and always remember, the biggest room in the world is always going to be the room for improvement. Anyway, I wanted to make sure that I really came back again. The pendulum swings, from one side to the other. And I got to balance out what I said, yesterday about rage and stuff with an understanding that of the human dignity of everybody. We're all part of God. That being said, sometimes we still have to engage in battle, but it's better to be silent. It's better to walk away from something if you don't know what to do. And my grandma told me that her dad told her that when you don't know what to say, don't say anything at all. All right. And that came from my grandmother's dad. So, you can figure out how many generations that is from you. All right. And now I'm passing it down to you, because this is what you call it family wisdom. All right. If you don't know what to say and you don't know what to do, don't do anything at all. Don't do anything until you know what to do or what to say. All right. And I don't know why I said that. I'm actually talking about the dignity of a human being. Sometimes I get lost. I know it has something to do. Anyway, look, the way you can figure out, what something is like this. All right. If you want to find out the true character of yourself or somebody else, you have to look at it like, what would, people are influential in our lives. Okay, so, you find people would be treated differently according to their status, in life. All right. You got low stratus of society and high stratus. Low stratus is what I call, bubbles and scum. You sink to the bottom of the mire of the pond, metaphorically speaking. And you got that stratus of society, and then you got the stratus of society way up at the top. They rule the world. All right, And the question is, are you going to treat one different than the other? Right? I don't think you should. I don't think you should treat them any differently at all. All right, you go down to the bottom, stay down there a while, and you find out what it's like. And if you, start at the bottom and then you go to the top, you're going to treat the people down at the bottom differently than you did when you were at the bottom. When you're at the bottom and you're looking up, oh, maybe I treat this person good because, they can help me. And then when you get up there, they can help me up. Okay, you get up. And then you're gonna forget about the person down at the bottom. Well, you should always try to lift people up, and it brings tears to my eyes just thinking about that. And after all, that's what the story of God is in Jesus Christ, that metaphor. Jesus, hand of God trying to lift us up. So the question is, are you going to treat one person different than the other? And you reflect a while on different people. I mean, look, they say to have respect for your elders. It's respect thy elders. It's one of the rules. And it's good. It's good wisdom to respect your elders because your elders already. That's why I mean, I'm not trying to elicit any kind of admiration or respect or anything. I'm just telling you as another person. And say that's my mentality is treat when you're talking to somebody, talk to them as a person, not as a title. Somebody might carry the title of a doctor or a professor or boss, head of a division, a CEO, commander, lieutenant, whatever kind of position, whatever kind of hat they wear, the other person, I don't know, maybe he's the head of a motorcycle gang, I don't know, but people wear all kinds of hats and wear all kinds of titles. Well, you're going to treat one person different than the other? Oh, I wouldn't. If you don't know what to say, don't say anything at all. And don't ever do that. Because when you do that, you just put a like you're moving on a checkerboard. You just put a pawn or a piece or a queen or whatever you got out there, out for slaughter. Because that's all you're doing when you do something and you don't have no reason why. I always do something with an intention. Don't. And if you guys just got to be silent, be silent. Look, I've given you a couple good pieces of advice here. I've given myself a reminder and inner deeper clarification. It's good exercise for me to remind myself of these truths. This is reminding myself this is what I live by. This is who I am, and I admonish you because I'm hoping this is going to get to my grandchildren. You, okay? I'm telling you what I know. Telling myself what I know. I know it to be true. Well, all right. Let's go end that one right there. All right, bye.